I'm in my 20s and own over $1 million in real estate assets, and I did it all while working a normal 9-to-5 job. I didn't grow up rich. I didn't have family money, insider connections, or some big guru funding the whole thing. No trust fund, no six-figure salary, just strategy. And in this video, you're gonna learn exactly how I did it step by step. You're gonna learn the mistakes not to make, the decisions that worked, and how you can start even if you're living paycheck to paycheck, just like I was. Stick around till the end because I'll share with you the single decision that changed my life. The moment where I went from I'll never afford a property to millionaire investor. And by the way, if you're new here, hi, my name's Anita. I'm a newer investor. I just started investing last year. I was making $32,000 a year at my normal 9-to-5 job. I was literally doing medical records, nothing fancy. So if you think that real estate investing is for people with really big pockets and a ton of money, I'm here to tell you it's not. Everything I'm sharing with you is exactly how I reached over $1 million in assets. No fancy maths, because your girl's not that good at math. No shortcuts, just smart moves done consistently. Before I ever bought my first property, I had to retrain the way that I thought about money. Most of us, including myself, are told to go to your job and pay off all your debts. Never get in any debt at all. All debt is bad. It's the worst. It's the big, bad, scary monster underneath the bed. But the truth is that wealthy people use debt for leverage and cash flow. So they take out a debt in order to make themselves way more money from that money that they borrowed. I realized that I didn't need to own everything outright. I just needed to control it. And that changed everything. I stopped focusing on buying my dream home and started focusing on buying an income stream. So we don't always have to think of real estate as how can I live in this, but more so, how can this property pay for itself and my future? Okay, so phase 2 is actually getting the property. This is the foundation of the whole thing. And my first property, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it was in a normal working class area and it just needed a little love. So I saved aggressively for that down payment. Like instead of going to Starbucks, I'd make all my coffee at home. I even did like little side hustles. I sold some old stuff around the house on eBay. Like I literally did everything that I could to muster up a few $1,000s to actually put the first down payment onto this tiny condo by the beach in Florida. And then when I finally bought the property, I actually didn't just move in by myself because I actually couldn't really afford the mortgage all by myself. I was making like around $32,000 a year. So having a mortgage that was around like $1,900 a month was pretty high for me. And unfortunately in South Florida, if you buy a property, that's just kind of how it goes. This market here is like super expensive and I needed to find something that was relatively close to the clinic I worked at the time. So basically what house hacking means is that you have one person living in one of the rooms to the property and you live in the other room. So it's kind of like a roommate situation and they're actually helping you pay your mortgage. This can be really great if you're anything like me who might be just starting out or if you were living paycheck to paycheck. It's really hard to pay off an entire mortgage by yourself if you're in that situation like I was, so I completely understand and this might be a really great option for you. Also, I have an entire video about that on my channel, so make sure to subscribe so you can actually check that one out as well. And that video is all about the do's and don'ts of house hacking. So if you do house hacking, you have to make sure to do it the right way. And in that process, I learned that wealth is not just about how much you make, it's also about how much you're earning while you sleep. So while I had the gal in the other room paying my mortgage with me, my whole property was going up in value every single month. So phase 3 is recycling capital. So what I mean by that is by taking the money that you're earning from the one property and now putting it into property number 2. And now you start building a train of income producing properties because after property 2, you do 3, 4, etc. And all of these homes are bringing you in cash flow and they're going up in value every single month. And after that first property, I wanted to grow, but at this point I had like no money in my bank account. And I was like, okay, well, how the heck do I buy the second property now? So this is where you can kind of go one of two routes. There's a lot of investors that do the BRRRR method: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. So this means you can buy an older property, like a fixer-upper, fix and flip kind of thing, rent it out, wait a few years, and then cash out refinance, which is where you pull out the equity money that you've earned from that property and then buy another one. Now, the problem I had with this method is that I had literally no money to continually invest. So what I needed to do was find a more creative way as to how I could start investing in a lot of different properties. So what I ended up doing creatively is I found a way to purchase homes on a credit card. And now if you purchase a property that already exists, unfortunately, it's really hard to get it on a credit card. I personally have never heard of a title company or anyone accepting money from a credit card, but the way I did it was actually through construction loans. So I actually built a home totally from scratch. So I did some market research in the area. Like, is this a good market? Is this a growing area? Is this a house that is actually going to be able to rent out quickly or sell quickly after I build it? And so with that, I actually purchased like around a $400,000 home, and I only built it for around $270,000. So I was able to make over $130,000 literally while the property was like just getting built, just in equity. And so now if I choose to sell this property or if I choose to rent out the units, I'll be good because the house is actually worth more than what I'm paying for it. And I also did it with credit cards. So by the time the house is finished in its construction, I'll be able to either sell the house, I'll be able to rent out the units, etc., and start paying down that credit card. Also, these credit cards that I use to purchase the properties are 0% APR, so 0% interest in the first year, which is awesome because that gives me an entire year to be able to sell the property or pay back the credit card payments. Now, what I actually did with these new constructions as well is I actually made it a house that has 3 units each. So I actually ended up doing this now with 2 different new constructions, and in each home, I actually have the homes kind of split up a little bit. So it works if a whole family wants to rent out the home, and it's also split up in the sense that if I wanted to Airbnb it or rent it out as 3 individual units, I actually could do that too. So I built the house very strategically, so goodness forbid I can't sell it right away, or maybe I want to hold on to it, or I realize I can just make way more money off of it if I just Airbnb out all of the rooms. I can do that now because of the way that I built the house. It's not, the house kind of looks like this here, where it's actually split up into 3 separate units, and an entire family can live here. So it's like Play-Doh, you know, you get to play with it however you want. And if anything hits the fan, there's always a lot of backup options that I could still do with the property. So I had to go this route for a few reasons, but I also thought it was a much safer option too, especially for a newer investor like myself, because the BRRRR method, if you buy an old property and you have no idea what you're doing, you could think that the project to renovate the property is going to cost like $30,000, $40,000, but it could actually end up costing like $80,000 or $100,000. So all the profit that you thought you were going to make off this property, you're not getting that profit anymore. And that's some rough business, especially after you spend all that time, energy, and effort into trying to repair that thing. So that's why I really love new constructions, because I didn't have to think about, oh geez, I got to replace the roof. How old is the IC unit? Is there any crazy plumbing situation going on? Like, you don't have to think about any of that. So definitely for me, and if you're a newer real estate investor, or if you want to start building wealth in real estate, it definitely can be a better option for you as well. And also, if you want to learn about real estate investing, you want to build your wealth, you want to build an empire, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video, as I'm building a little community here on YouTube of other people like myself who just want to build their own wealth. They want to have their own financial freedom in real estate, and I just want to learn and grow together in our community here. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure to follow along. Okay, so phase 4 is partnerships and creative financing. As I mentioned before, I had to get creative about the way that I was able to purchase the property, because unlike a lot of these real estate gurus online that I would be listening to all the time, I didn't have just an extra $300,000-$400,000 extra dollars just sitting around to buy a lot of properties. So I had to get creative with other forms of payment. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to buy another new construction after I had purchased the previous one. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I have some high limit credit cards that I've used to purchase the previous property. Now, how can I continually keep growing and scaling? So I had to get creative again. And this time what I did was I found an investor to come and invest in the property with me. And at the time he was my boyfriend and now he's my husband, but my boyfriend actually went in on the deal with me. So he helped me purchase that property. And so now we own it together, which is awesome. And this is another great way to invest in real estate. So there's actually a lot of people out there that have a good amount of money, but they don't really have the time. And if you're the one willing to start from scratch and say, hey, I can find the deal for you. I can build the house in a way where we can Airbnb it out. It's in a great neighborhood. It's in a great market. I'm willing to do the due diligence, and all you have to do is put in the money and then get the profits. That person might be willing to do it with you. So even if you can find like a family member, a friend, or just maybe somebody at your job, like somebody that just might have a little bit more money and not as much time or experience, and they're willing to get in on that deal with you, absolutely use it. By having someone fund the deal and you do the management and strategy, now you're able to actually own more properties and not have to put in as much of your money. And now the best part is that now all of the cash flow, the equity from these properties is probably going up every single month. And what you could do is use that money, and the more that you have, the more you get every month, and then you can put it into more and more and more properties. And that is the magic of real estate. Okay, so phase 5 is that now once you have your properties running like a well-oiled machine, you're getting in this cash flow, you're doing the things to maintain your properties, you don't have to do it forever. So what you could do is you can hire a property manager, real estate agents to get tenants in there for you, things like bookkeepers to track all the finances, so you don't have to do it yourself. Because once you're making an X amount of money, the whole goal of this stuff is complete freedom. And to be frank, real estate is actually one of the most passive investments in my experience. Like, I don't have to do anything and my tenants just pay me every single month. But once you actually get to the point where you have 10, 15, 20 properties, now you can just hire someone else with some of the cash flow you're making from one of the properties and live in total financial and time freedom. So the moment I hit $1 million in real estate assets wasn't like this huge turning point moment or like this giant celebration. It was just like, oh, that's nice. Like, I've been doing this little train method, putting in every single month and just doing the thing, and you'll see how fast it can come for you too. So if you're sitting there thinking you need a 6-figure salary to invest in real estate, you don't. And if you want to keep learning more about real estate and you want to learn more on your investing journey and how to fast track your way to your goals, make sure to click on this video here, as I have an entire series about how to invest in real estate the smart way. See you there.